るままに日暮らし、すずりに向かい。
フィールス回って。
この美しい風景もそばに誰もいない以上、私の不変を引き立たせるだけ。
遊びに行くってのは行くことが大事なの。来てさえくれればあとは全部。じゃあ行くよ。
滑稽です。
またトラブル。
遅い。
落ち。
遅い。万来をもって葬り去りましょう。
光り輝くがいい。
響け学の目。この目で属性を見届けましょう。見切りましょう。どれ全部幻滅。
真実はまるで影。
凡人、身の程をわきまえよ。
真実はまるで影。
千年もの雪辱を果たす。
ちょっと痛いな。光よ、
今こそ全ての怨嗟を払う時なり。
よっ、波の花が君に舞いよ。
これが結末。
開幕だ。
この地が貴様らの墓場となる。
よっ
しかとその身に受けるがよい。
僕をたたえよ、光り輝くがいい。そらいいよ。
我は消えぬ。
せっかくのチャンスだ。本気を出して俺を楽しませてくれ。投稿も一つの選択だよ。俺は敗者に優しいからね。褒めてあげよう。
かかれ、糸よ、工作せよ。
うん
捕まえた。
食前に甘いもの。
メッツ。
ふんと
せっかく手に入れたのに。
星と深無事今日の依頼。星と深淵
Oh shit, I think I forgot to do Durin's test run. Fuck.
これが例のドゥリン。モンドで復活したのがあのドラゴンだったら、ここに住む人々はどんな災いに見舞う。ドゥリンはここの大英雄だね。ちょっと羨ましくなっただけだ。誰にでも。
ほとんどアルベド。
だが今や大英雄の君を覚えている。
お前な。
旅人パイモン、そしてカサッチさんもドゥリンのことを覚えているんだね。
Well, I mean, realistically, if there's ever going to be anyone who was not affected by it, it would be us. Because, like, why are people not remembering him? Well, because he's being wiped from the Irmin Soul, and everyone connected to the Irmin Soul, like, would lose it. So basically, the only people who would be affected by his fate being cleared away from the Irmin Soul would be people connected to the Irmin Soul, which we are provenly not connected, you know? We went to the Irmin Soul in the Sumeru chapter, and they're like, hey, you're not connected at all. You know? All descenders are not connected naturally. Now, it could be that we've done other things that have gotten us connected at some point, and we just weren't aware of it, but they didn't explicitly say, yeah, you're connected now. So, if there was going to be any person who would be able to remember him, it would be us, who doesn't rely on the Irmin Soul at all. So any changes, ebbs and flows within it would not have anything to do with us.
それなら僕の記憶も完全なはずだ。
アルベド。
やっと来たな、アルベド。
君も来てたんだね。
彼の身に起こったことについて、僕はなんとなく。
ジン団長からこの前起きたことについて聞いたよ。
Oh, look, it's Clyde Retainer. Decided to join us. That's nice of her.
まずは情報を共有しよう。彼の体は至って正常だよ。アビスの力を抑制する。
つまり錬金術の観点からは
アビスの力が勝手に暴走しているというより。
Yeah, there is one thing in his dressing room that you notice. So as you can see the little heart on his chest, right? That has those little like crosses in front of it. Those little metal bars in front of in the heart gem. Well, basically in the dressing room, there is another version of Durin, which is basically identical with the sole exception of that heart gem. Those little bars are removed and the gem itself is glowing. I assume that's going to be at the end of this. So I guess now that you've fully unleashed your power and fully unleashed yourself, you know, and fully integrated into the world, now that heart gem is glowing with power or whatever.
もしこのまま主体的な意志を失えば、ドゥリンの体は本には魔女の集いについて書かれていた。東亜世界のドゥリンは雪山のドゥリンにとって変わってこの世界に生まれてきた。これはつまりこれを実現するには錬金術だけでは足りなかったのかもしれない。
Yeah, no shit. How could alchemy change fate? Like, if fate is an ephemeral thing, alchemy is more physical. Now, obviously, there's a lot of magic involved with how they do alchemy, it seems. But the fact of the matter is, you're changing fate, which is like, it's a non-tangible thing.
バーベロスさんの先生術と僕の先生の錬金術、アリスさんの魔法を同時に使う必要が。
Yeah, and that is the other thing. So, like, Ryandaughtr called Durin, so isn't she an asshole? Or was she only an asshole in Conria because she was corrupted by the Abyss? And then when she merged with the Goddess of Life, at that point did she kind of mellow out and she's like, oh shit, yeah, that was kind of a dick move, I shouldn't have done that. So I'm curious to see, because like, obviously, Albedo talks about Ryandaughtr like a normal person, you know? And the other witches aren't really like cursing out Ryandaughtr, who I think was part of the circle, right? So it's like no one's really like cursing her out, despite the fact that she created fucking Durin, right? Who was an abyss dragon and was one of the great sinners of Conria. So it's just like, so it is surprising how like, you know, no one's really saying that many negative things about her, considering what horrible things she must have done. So I don't know if is she turned a new leaf. Also, it also is kind of curious when Albedo was created, right? So Durin was created first, Albedo was created second. But like how close to each other, right? Durin obviously existed 500 years ago. Albedo might be like only 100 years old for all we know, right? Maybe. And my theory is that Albedo only was created after Ryandaughtr merged with the Goddess of Life, and using their combined powers is what allowed them to create a homunculus like him.
先生術の予言を知って僕とドゥリンは雪山だけど、どうやらこれすらも彼女たちの残るは
Yeah, and so is that the book, right? Now the question, of course, is how do we... Again, it's such an ephemeral concept. It's like, okay, so if we're writing... Because, like, remember, this book has recounted Durin's past, right? The book itself has recounted Durin's past, and it's gone through his thing. So that... You could consider the fate as just a physical representation of... Or you consider the book as a physical representation of his fate, right? This is your past, now you gotta write your future, and then... You just got to find some way to make that book replace the fate. Now, it could be that it's something that's part of the magic itself. It could be that M, when she first started this book, or maybe Alice, I think M started the book, and maybe Alice bumped it up with some extra magic. But it could be that when the book is fully complete, that it will automatically just replace its fate, right? You're like, cool, the book is complete, your fate is written. And then, you know, it does its magic thing, which then replaces fate.
テイワットの運命に影響を与えられる魔法がどんなものか僕にはわからない。でもこの本の中にその答えがあるのは確かだ。
この本を完成させるようアリスがオイラ
実際に
時間がない。本を貸してくれ。これからの物語は僕と関係があるはずだ。つまり
大きな木には折れた枝があり、その折れた枝に自らをつなぎ合わせて、
Oh, okay. So I don't know if we're going to do anything. So it seems like it's probably exactly what I said. It's probably that when we complete the story, when we create, you know, this book, right? When the book is fully complete and all chapters are written, it will automatically replace the fate. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't even think they're going to have to do anything. I think, well, maybe Alice will pop up and be like, "Cool, you've completed it. Now let me do my magic," and then basically forces the book into the Irmin Soul, which then replaces the old fate, maybe.
しかし、まずは強力な粘土を見つけて、
やっぱりね。
竜の子は風の導きを受け、錬金工房へとやってきました。出迎えてくれたのは粘土のお人形さん。知恵の魔法使いが作った子供でした。
Wait, what? Oh, so Albedo just...
の知恵を受け継いだ彼は一見とても穏やかです。
Oh, okay. No, the Sage Witch. So yeah, so it's basically Ryandaughtr. This proves that Ryandaughtr was part of the Hexen Circle.
助けてくれることになりました。
I think we already knew that. I think we already were told that she was part of the Hexen Circle. Because I think she was referenced as R before. And so yeah, that was Ryandaughtr. And obviously it's like, yeah, the fact that... And Albedo said that Ryandaughtr was his teacher and creator. So That is interesting. Because it does beg the question of when this happened. And also, like, and so she's the Sage Witch, right? Which does beg the question of, when did she created that doll, right? Because he's like, oh yeah, she like, Albedo had a clay doll, which is presumably what created Durin's current form. I thought Albedo just did that himself, but it seems like the Sage Witch had that ready for him, which, I mean, I guess it's possible, right? Like, because, like, M was already doing her shit when she was still alive and created Simulenka, so it could be at that time Daughter went in and created a body for him later. Because, like, it seems like they did do a lot of prep work to prepare Durin to replace the fate of the old one, so I guess it could have been readied in advance, and Albedo was just holding onto it for a bit.
この空間に映し出されているのは錬金術を研究する場所のはずだ。この姿は
He's a little clockwork soldier. That's funny.
言い忘れてたんだけど、この物語に登場するキャラクターの姿はデュリンがオイラたちに対して持ってる印象が反映されてるんだ。
なんとか人の形にはなってるね。
カサッチさんも見た目が変わったね。つまり僕もカサッチさんもこの物語のキャラクターというわけか。でも旅人とパイモン、ドゥリン本人は変わっていない。君たちはちょっと特殊な存在のようだね。
僕も気になったけど、彼ら自身も分かってないみたいだ。
I mean, to be fair, we were the only ones who actually met him in Chibi Durin form, so that might have just cemented our importance in him right away. You know? Because, like, he only met Wanderer after he became this form, and he only met Albedo. I mean, presumably Chibi Durin met him before, but, like, we helped him, and we went through all the shit in Simulenka, which could have just, like, you know, emblazoned that in his memory more so than any other person.
一行は隠し通路を見つけました。緻密に作られた道はどうやら別の素敵なショーへとつながっているようです。
それなら早く行ってみよう。もう一つのショー。
でもこのショーはまだ書かれていません。物語の
じゃあこの道は何なんだよ。すぐに諦めるなんて作家として。
これは
Oh yeah, see that's the gem.
ちょっとこっちに来て。
That's his chest gem.
悪霊の心臓
That's a little crack on. Oh, maybe that's it. So like that's what he currently has in his chest, and that's why the little bars are over it to protect it. But then it'll go into one solid gem once we fix him.
さらにお母さんがお人形さんに残した知恵は、この心臓を竜の子に移植し、こうすることで初めて悪竜の心臓は止まり、
アルベドが僕を生まれ変わらせて。
これが難題への答えならとっくに終わったことのはずだ。どうして今もなお。
他の可能性はないのかい？
うん。
Yeah, you can see like actually no, I guess the gem does look. Oh, I mean there do look to be like little like cracks in it, right? So it does seem like the gem isn't like complete. But then again, it's hard to tell because like, are we going to physically do something, or are we actually going to, you know?
心臓を直接壊すことはでき、モンドに災いが訪れるのも、僕が自分の物語を残せない。もしこの物語の中でこの心臓を完全に壊せたなら、
アリスさんの魔法は本当に理論。
面白いアイディアだ。試してみたいなら僕は反対しない。
デュリン。
やっぱり僕は君たちにまで忘れられてしまうのは怖い。
Yeah, like I can understand him being afraid, right? Because if this is supposed to represent the old Durins, but also like if this is the heart that was installed into him, if he destroys his own, even though it might represent old Durin, it also destroys himself. He could also destroy himself, you know. But obviously, I think he's going to destroy it because this is the last. I think this is probably the last lingering connection between the two of them, is through the heart gem.
でも僕一人じゃ一緒にこの心臓を
Oh, actually, wait a minute. Let's double check. Okay, so it doesn't actually go out here.
しかし
No, I cannot. Okay.
物語のない空
Okay, so we're gonna go. Yeah, so obviously that's gonna be. So we're gonna do that. Second. Oh, hey.
悪霊の心
Oh,
臓
never mind.
何としても
Okay, fuck it. Oh man. Oh no, okay. I was worried. I was like, oh shit, did I redo the entire cutscene all over again? Because I was like, last time I did this was a -3. So let's see. Nothing else to see, right? Nope. Can I go up here? Oh, I can. Wait.
塔に戻る新しい世界に来て新しい友達
Wait, what?
なんかで
確かにそういう時間も悪くない。だけ
どうして
ど前へ進むために代償が必要。
心配ない。どんな困難にも
Are they gonna kick us back?
帰ってみたりしたく
Oh, I see. Oh, god damn it.
竜の子は外の世界の喧騒から離れて
Wait, what?
塔へとここには
Oh shit. Is this a cutscene I would have otherwise missed? If I just instantly solved the problem?
子供たちは母親が物語を話し終えると夢こうして物語は結末。
あれ急に力が出なくなっ
どうしたんだ？デュリンはみんなの記憶を取り戻すってや
Oh, wait, what? Shit, maybe. Okay. I was gonna say, presumably, obviously, breaking the heart is the correct ending. I'm surprised they even actually made a second ending.
ここで一つ注意なんだけど、この本にはドゥリンちゃんの経験が反映されてるってことにはもう気づいているはずよね。でもそれってこの本の結末がドゥリンちゃんに映し出されるってことでもあるのよ。バッドエンディングを迎えたら大変なことになっちゃうからくれぐれも気をつけて。
Huh. I'm kind of wondering if there's going to be an achievement for this. Because realistically, there shouldn't be, right? If there's an achievement for getting the bad ending, then that would mean it's a missable achievement. Actually, no, unless maybe we get the book later, and we can go back to every single chapter, and then we could go back to this chapter, and then do the bad ending to get the achievement. It's hard to say, though, because, like, most character quests, you just can't ever redo again. You know? So for, like, most character quests, you've done the quest, it's done. That's why if there was an achievement tied to the character quest, within a certain action within a character quest, then you'd be kind of fucked. Because... Okay, so...
前へ進まなければ竜の子は
Oh wait, oh I see. Fuse with the heart or destroy the heart. Let's fuse with
これ
it.
から何が起きようと
Because obviously destroying it. So that was actually kind of interesting then. So yeah, I'm surprised they did that. That's really cool.
粘土のお人形さんは悪竜の心臓を見つけました。悪竜はずいぶん前に息を引き取ったはずなのに、その心臓は未だに鼓動し、温かさも増しているではありませんか。お人形さんはすぐに分かりました。これは予言の通り、悪竜がいつか復活することを意味しているのです。さらにお母さんがお人形さんに残した知恵は、この心臓を竜の子に移植し、彼を生まれ変わらせるという方法に可能性を見出しました。こうすることで初めて 悪竜の心臓は止まり、竜の子も悪竜の物語を継承できると思ったのです。やがて竜の子は悪竜の心臓を抱き、新たな命が誕生しました。
Wait, so if I had clicked the destroy, would that have actually destroyed it?
竜の子の胸の中で鼓動し、竜の子の魂がそれを
Because there was the fuse and then destroy. Like, if I had destroyed it, would that also have been a bad ending? Crap, I should go back. Maybe that was probably one of the bad endings. That's probably why it was -1 instead of 3. Shit, I should have chosen the -1.
竜の子が
But I think we'll be able to come back to this. I'm pretty sure we're going to get the book as an item, and we can review the chapters at that point.
やっとハッピーエンドにたどり着いたな。これで最後の一歩も完了だよな。
Yeah, shit. So I should have done the destroy one. It seems like that was probably gonna be another. So it seems like leaving was a bad choice. Obviously, leaving led to a bad ending. I think destroying the heart probably would have killed him, which would have also been another bad ending. I think destroying the heart would have just stopped Durin from stop the old Durin from being reborn, but would also not replace his fate. So he would just slowly be forgotten, and then, yeah, okay, shit. Yeah, I should have chosen the bad one.
生まれ変わった竜の子は再び
ここからが本当に重要なところかもしれない。
Yeah, his
とい
future.
うものがそれほどまでの手だれなら見せてもらおうじゃないか。
みんな真剣だな。
悪竜の心臓と竜の子は一体となりましたが、彼は勇敢にもこの力を
Yeah,
抑え
shit. So
込むのでし
destroying
ょ
it
う
must have been another ending, which would have also probably been a bad ending. But I needed to.
でしょうか。
なんだよそれ。もちろん抑え込むに決まってる。
残された時間はわずか。竜の
おい、どうし
勇敢にもこの力を抑え込むの
Oh, I see. Obviously, yeah.
立ち止まるでしょうか。
I'm curious what giving in will do, so I'm just gonna chill. Gonna chill and wait. Okay, so I can't go back to the castle. It's also weird because it said 4 ink, but I already used up all my ink. I just have 1 ink left. So we'll just give in, see how it goes.
この力を抑え込むので
I'm actually surprised that that's the path down. Like, you'd think it'd be that path. But I guess that's the path to solve it, and then that path will open up. That will be his future. Okay, let's see what happens. Is he gonna rise evil dragon and raise the
体
land?
内に暗黒の力が湧き上がってきました。抑え込まれることのなかった暗黒の血。結局竜の子の物語は消えてしまい、と
これが僕。
Yeah, that's the Simulanka version of Durin that we fought at the end of the Simulanka
竜の
story.
子は自身の姿を失
デューリンがまずこれからどうする。
そうね、こういうこともある。だからしっかり物語の中を探検して可能性を見つけ出さないといけないの。勇敢にも
竜の子とその仲間。
なんだ。
インクを使い切ったら
とっくにそんなよ。
物語を書くためのインクが尽きた。
そうね、こういうこともある。だからしっかり物語の中を探検して可能性を見つけ出さないといけないの。
Wait, what?
どういうことだ？これでオービスの
Oh, no, okay.
アビスの力を抑え込むこともこの物語では。
じゃあどうすればいいんだ？これっぽっちのインクでどうやっていいエンディングなんか書き
それもそうか。
そういう1対1の関係であればこんな推測がドゥリンとは魔女 M が描いたキャラクターであり、ずっと魔女テイワットに来てからもおそらくこの点は変わっていない。
Oh, he's gonna use the ink that was used to create himself to create his own
ドラ
story?
ゴンスパインのドゥリンの代わりにドゥリンを復活させるという行為はドゥリンのものでも物語と運命にはテイワットではあらゆる生き物の運命はすでに紡がれていて決まった軌道にそれならドゥリンの物語にはドゥリンは徐々にこの世界とのつながりを失い忘れ去られていく。それはこの物語を書いていた作者のインクがもうすぐ
どうやらとても優秀な
そんなことはどうだっていい。
物語はここまで。
最後はまさか自分がまだお母さんの物語から
未完成の章。この物語
アリスの魔法が具体的。デュリンは物語の中の登場人物ってことだろ？
Isn't that too risky? Dude, he's literally dying. We don't have the ink to continue. There's literally no other choice. Isn't that risky? Everything is risky. Also, like, to be fair, we've already gotten 2 bad endings before. Going back in time to try again there's not really much risk involved in that. But even still, it's like, dude, like, we have no other choice, right? There's no other path we can do. We either sit here and wait for him to die, get stuck behind a path we don't have enough ink to write, or try the unfinished chapter.
この答えはドゥリン自身で検証し。
いいだろう。ドゥリンを
形ない壁はまるで潜入する境界。越えることはできません。それはどんなリズムのでしょうか。確かにそんな境界
I bet we're gonna get our burst. I bet it's gonna instantly fill up our burst, and then we're gonna do it. Oh, never mind, there we go. Did I actually need to continue attacking, or would that have just naturally done it? Yeah, because presumably this is him stepping out of the fate. Stepping out of the fate that was written for him, or written by Durin's thing. So it could be that this is the... whatever. We'll see.
君の骨と肉は僕によって作り上げられ。
僕は
Flesh and bone, really. I thought you were a clay doll.
生きてるの？
You would transmute it into a human doll?
この先へ進むといい。
何のつながりも感じられない。
君は一人じゃない。少なくとも僕は友達に数えていいだろう。
何も思い出せない。僕は誰？
君の名前はドゥリン。この名前を覚えている者はたくさんいる。
I wonder if there's a point in walking. I just like stand still and all the shit will still come back. Still happen.
行け走れこの世界の運命は
Okay, run. So yeah, presumably we need to keep moving for someone to.
待って、どこに行けばいい？僕は何をすればいいの？
願いを叶えるんだよ、ドゥリン。
僕の願い。
ドゥリン、あなたの物語はまだ終わってない。
どうして私の提案に沈黙するの？
物語を未完成の運命に接続し、本来の運命を書き換えることで物語を続けさせる。
確かに天才的な考え方ね。
だが予言にあるあの時間はまだ数百年も先だ。
なるほど。私の知識が未熟すぎるせいで、錬金術という偉大、あるいは私が後天の星、まさか一番の課題が私の時間だったとはね。
何にせよ、これは面白い実験。
Oh, okay, yeah, they did have Ryan. I was gonna say like, wait, that's Ryan daughter. I'm like, yeah, so.
君の提案を否定はできない。
Yeah, so like, did she redeem herself? Or was she never truly evil? But like, if she was never truly evil, then but she was corrupted by the abyss, or she was at least empowered by the abyss in Conria, and she created Durin to begin with as an evil dragon that fucked around. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was still testing and experimenting with him and trying to make him normal. But then, you know, Conria got fucked over, so he escaped during thing. So maybe she didn't intend for him to raise the world. It's hard to obviously we can't know her intentions. But like every instance we've seen of her since, like the only time we definitely know she was there, right? Because of the whole Rarier arc of the Nodcry story. We know she was there, and they were colluding with Dainsleif to overthrow the king, and we saw her there taking the abyssal power after the king was killed. So it's like, I mean she was always known as one of the sinners too. So it's like, so presumably she's a bad person because like, but it could be maybe she's more of a scientist than anything. You know, she's just doing whatever she needs to do to continue her experiments, and maybe they also didn't know how bad the abyss power was, and then they're like, oh shit, this is really bad. But by that point, they were already corrupted. And so it could be that with her fusing with Ryan, or the goddess of life, it could be that it purified the abyss from her, and she's now just returned to being a relatively good-willed scientist. But yeah, we really don't know much about her. Like, you know, the only thing we know is just offhandedly being mentioned in events like these, as well as the Rarier story where we saw her actually before, during Conria times. So I assume we're going to learn a lot more about Conria, and a lot more about each of the sinners beyond just, you know, Rarier and Dainsleif. Although I assume we're going to learn a lot more about Dainsleif too. Or we're going to see what, you know, what Verdofnir, Rhindaughter, the, fuck, I forgot his name. I think it was a T. But the guy in charge of the library and research and stuff like that. The magic school, or the the guy in charge of the school. We'll see what, we'll probably learn more about them and what they were like during Conria times.
予言はいつか必ず実現する。星々と共に。
アリス、みんなにはもう一度君の魔法の力で少なくとも。
And that's the weird thing too, is that like we have Rhindaughter right here, right? I would assume that like Reindar hasn't been actively doing shit with the witches for a while because of, and if she has, then who the fuck is Alice? Like I'm pretty sure we were told Alice was human. So it's like, how has a human lived for this long? Like M might have died relatively recently. Like maybe M died 10 years ago at the end of like a 100-year-long life. Fine, sure, so that's normal. But like Alice looks super young, and was around during there. Presumably, she's stronger than M because she's asking Alice for her magic, and Alice is the one chilling on the boundary, using all her magic, and her magic seems so all powerful and stuff. Now it could be that if everyone stays within their lane, so it could be that Alice's magic has to do with like one aspect of magic, and hers is more about just storytelling magic. And so it's like, yeah, sure, as a storytelling mage, she can't, as a pictomancer, as it were, she can't do things that pictomancers can't do. And Alice has that skill set, like how Barbeloff presumably just deals with fate and stuff. So presumably a lot of her magic has to do with fates. It's weird you don't like involve her a little more into this, but. And then Reindaughter was about alchemy and the creation of life. So if that's kind of where her focus of magic is, yeah, each one could have their own thing. But even still, it's just like Alice just seems super powerful and like seems to have been around for a very long time. Even though I think we were told during in the introduction of the Hexen Circle that she was human, which is so it does beg the question of like how human, right? Like she has the elf ears, and so she could be that she's like anyone with elf ears is descended from Mesele, descended from an angel, and maybe that's why they have an extended life. Like maybe anyone with pointed ears has a life expectancy of like 200 or 300 years. So maybe she has been around longer than we might think.
寿命を伸ばすってこと？いや、レインドットが教えてくれたよ。生死は人の生死もこの世界もその法則を無理に破ろうとすると人でそんなのは嫌。私はそれってつまりこの筆をなるほどね。物語の魔法ならあなたの代わりに書き続けてくれる。
And that's the kind of weird thing, right? I could create a kind of story magic. It's like, well, isn't she the story mage? Like, wouldn't she be able to create the story magic? Or is it something that, like, the second she dies, it would lose potency? So she needs someone who's gonna live longer than her to create the magic so that it continues. See that? I need probably oh words. So she created AI. This is an AI written story. Because that's exactly that pen is a machine learning pen, and it's it's pen GPT. This is exactly what AI is, right? It's just you feed it enough data, it gets it to make its algorithm more robust, and then it can generate stuff as like that person. This is literally what AI does. But and the whole AI argument is retarded too. You get so many people who are like, "Oh, AI is bad. AI is bad." It's like, dude, you do realize AI learns the same way humans learn. We take in a lot of data, and then we use it ourselves. Except AI just does it better because it's able to do things more efficiently and quicker and dedicate to just one task. Because like that's what's always so stupid about it, right? So people bitch and moan, being like, "Oh my God, you're just stealing data from people. You're stealing people's art." It's like, first of all, it's not stealing because you still have your art. Your art is still yours. They're not taking your art and trying to sell it. It's not a forgery or anything like that. It's just looking at your art and learning from it, which is exactly what humans do. What the fuck do you think an art museum is, right? An art museum is a pile of art that people go in. How many artists are artists without seeing any other source of art? Zero. There's literally no artist in the world that just never learned from another artist, either directly or indirectly, right? It's like, no, as an artist, you watch a television show, you watch Dragon Ball Z, and then maybe your first drawings are, in Akira Toriyama's style, right? You draw characters like that. Or you look at an art book that tells you, okay, here's how you draw proportions of humans and shit like that. You're looking at data, you're looking at other people's art and techniques, and your brain is learning how to do it, and then your brain does it. Now, humans have the... so that's how your brains work, and every human's brain can work that way. Now, the problem is that not all humans can translate those neural impulses into actually good art, right? There's a certain level of skill which AI doesn't have to deal with. AI doesn't have to consider skill. You know, it's just how good your algorithm is. You could argue to say, oh, how good your algorithm is the AI equivalent of skill. Sure, you could argue that, but basically, it is really stupid. That basically all. It is a little stupid that this is basically how artists learn, but because people who are bitching about AI art are morons and self-serving, they don't realize that. They're too stupid to understand what it does, and they're too stupid to realize that this is exactly how humans also learn, because they're just so wrapped up in their they're so worried about what it means for their job that they don't want to acknowledge that, acknowledge that that's exactly what humans do as well, right? Humans see a bunch of art, see a bunch of shows, see a bunch of movies, see a bunch of television, see a bunch of drawings, see a bunch of manga, comics, anime, and they use all that data to come up with their own style sometimes. Sometimes, obviously, they copy someone else's style directly as much as they can. Like the whole Studio Ghibli craze that people are doing. Anyone can mimic the Studio Ghibli art style. It's just that AI art does it super quick and really convenient, and even people without drawing skill could do so. And that's why it's so popular. But, a human artist could have done the exact same thing. Who had studied just Studio Ghibli art style. They could have done it, but they just didn't. But yeah, you just get a bunch of art. Because, if you look on Twitter or whatever, most of the people, when AI comes up, you get a lot of people bitching and moaning. And you know what most of the arguments end up being? Is that, or you know who most of the detractors are? They're artists themselves. You actually look up their bio, they're like, oh yeah, you're an artist. What a surprise! An artist complaining about how AI is used to generate art. Yeah, because you understand that it's taking away jobs. And I think it's just dumb, right? I think it's dumb. It's fucked up. It's so self-serving. It's self-serving. You're trying to stop progress just so you can keep your job, which is fucking stupid. It's never going to work, right? The Industrial Revolution, we have automation in factories. Those jobs aren't coming back. Do we make cars with all humans anymore? No, we fucking don't. This is just what's going to happen. So arguing and fighting against it is just fucking a waste of time, because it's still going to happen, and you just look like a fucking moron. But yeah. And then, and it's just you get these people who are just trying to take a moral stance. It's yeah, what a surprise that most of the people who are against it are the people who would directly lose their jobs because yes, they will lose their jobs, Basically, a project that might have needed 10 artists might only need 3, right? Or, so sure, it's not like we're going to lose all human artists, but we don't need as many because some things can be done faster and quicker through AI art, and then humans could do the final touches or incorporate it correctly. And sometimes it's just using the prototyping stage where you're okay, well, we're going to use AI art to kind of quickly splash together a storyboard of how the story's going to progress and stuff like that, rather than having to sketch it all out, because it is flat out quicker. Because right now, storyboards are just storyboards are actually someone sketching out what it's going to look like, and that takes time to fucking do, to storyboard that out, whereas one prompt instantly makes things faster, right? But someone had to have drawn that, before, and now they don't. So basically, it just makes things more efficient, and you can hire less people to get the same amount of productivity, or hire the same amount of people and get even more productivity, right? And that's kind of what Larian's doing, is Larian's just not hiring new people. They're just making themselves more efficient so they can do twice as amount. They can use AI tools to do twice the amount of work. But then you get even Neil Newbon. I think Neil Newbon's take was completely bullshit and stupid. But I understand where he's coming from. Neil Newbon is the voice of Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3. I understand his point, because he was commenting about Arc Raiders' use of AI voices in their game. And he's well, now the Arc Raider's been super successful, they should go in and hire actors to voice over these things. And I was like, no, fuck off. No. Like, every voice actor in that game signed a contract for whatever they did. And if they want to use AI art, or AI voices for a certain subsection of stuff, because like one of the things is it announces like the items. And so basically, the way it currently is AI voices are the ones announcing items or announcing locations and stuff. Kind of like a robot just saying, hey, there's this thing over here, there's this thing over there. But if they ever introduce so he wants them to go back and have an actor basically revoice all of that, every single item name, every single location, every single possible word that those AIs say. And then also, when there's new items, when they add a new map, when they add new items, they would have to hire the same guy again to do it, to voice the new voice items. It's like, dude, fuck off. Like, why should they go out of their way? The system works perfectly fine, and you just want them to take an additional cost just for a moral, to be on the moral high ground. It's like, dude, fuck you. Like, it's so self-serving, it's so bullshit. It's like, no, that's just not how the way the world works. Like, I'd understand if they were like, if they hired voice actors, and the voice actors did the voice acting thing, and then they used a generative AI model based on their voice lines to then continue on their voice lines without paying them, right? If they came in, they were hired to do, a few hundred voice lines, and you put them in the game, and then they left, and then later when there's new content, you use the original voice lines and use AI to just replicate. No, but if that was the case, yeah, sure. Like, you're basically stealing their likeness. You're hiring them to do these lines and then stealing their likeness to generate more so you can avoid paying them. And I think that is morally wrong. But if it is in your contract, which I believe it was for Arc Raiders, everyone who worked on the Arc Raiders project was aware that AI would be used as part of this stuff and probably signed away their likeness rights if they are going to, generative AI their voice in future aspects of the game. So basically, it was agreed on. It was agreed on in the contract. And at that point, it's like, dude, no. Don't. And I understand where Neil's coming from, because obviously he doesn't want to see, less and less people get jobs in his job. And like, Neil is well known. And so Neil will be fine. He'll find a job. He's going to be able to voice act. Like, he's not going to be a problem for him. I understand that he's more concerned about the smaller people. And people have mentioned that for like Jennifer English as well, how she was like some really tiny voice in one of the games. Like, before Baldur's Gate 3, before any of that shit, she voiced some random villager in one of the games. And yeah, she got experience doing that. Well, pretty much the entire game, 5 years. Well, not pretty much. Literally the entire game. But so I understand the idea that, yeah, if you're using AI to like fill in these little random NPC dialogue, you're not giving them to real actors who can train their craft on that stuff and become better. So on some degree that is true, but it's like you're just trying to like fight against progress. This is just going to happen. And the fact of the matter is, it's like, sure, they might AI some voices, but not all voices will be. And you'll just have to, work on those. Like, these are just trying to like doing random voices of random villagers in a random town. It's like, yeah, how cool, so how immersive would it be if you used AI to voice random NPCs in towns? Like, Cyberpunk has, characters that seemingly have a life cycle, but how cool would it be if they just had randomly sprung up conversations with each other as you're passing by, and you wouldn't need to actually like create it yourself? You could add like hundreds more voice lines that wouldn't exist. They just wouldn't exist before because it just takes too much time to write out all the dialogue for every possible conversation. You could use generative AI to add a little extra layer of immersion by putting funny little conversations, extra little tidbits here and there, extra conversations between NPCs as you're walking by a hot dog stand. They maybe, two of the NPCs waiting in line might bring up a conversation about it, right? Funny little shit. Like, the kind of stuff that if you didn't have AI, there just wouldn't be anything. So it is, I think, Neil's take is a little too self-serving for his, not specifically for him, but just for his jobs, for people within his job category. It's like, sure, there definitely are going to be people who abuse AI. Definitely, 100%. There are definitely going to be greedy companies doing it in a greedy way. But a lot of companies will still do it in in a way that just is used as a tool to improve productivity and to make the game better without the need to hiring more. So basically, make the game better without having additional cost, which means you don't have to like do predatory practices, like, because that's the kind of the problem with AAA at the moment, is that the budgets for their games are so fucking big that they have to make so much money. They have to sell a certain number of copies to even break even, and so usually what will happen is that they'll make it safer, right? They'll try to make it appeal to a broader audience, but the problem is usually in trying to do that, you stop appealing to your core audience. So like your core audience liked this game because of certain aspects of the game, and now because you are trying to appeal to a broader audience, you've removed those aspects because it's too polarizing. So you're like, well, we're just not gonna have that. But it's like, well, that's the reason why people wanted it in the first place. Like, so you might be appealing to a broader audience, but you're getting new people in while losing old people. So it ends up just being not worth it. Because they operate in the assumption, oh, well, we sold this many before, we're going to sell this many plus some extra because of all the new people we're going to get. It's like, no, not necessarily. Sometimes it can, but other times it's like, no, you got a few extra million people to buy the game, but you also lost a few million because of how much you've changed the game, you know? And now you've ruined brand trust, and your next game will do even worse because the people who didn't like your game but still bought it are going to be like, you know what, I just can't trust the studio anymore. They're just going further and further away about what I liked in the series. So, anyway, sorry. Huge, long, random rant. Basically, AI is inevitable. People who try to claim otherwise are stupid and deluding themselves. It will happen. It will not replace all jobs, but it will replace some. It definitely will replace some. So, yeah.
この世界のすべてを表現しきれないかもしれない。そうなる試してみる価値はある。
I see. So is the pen going to appear in? Is the pen going to appear in that empty space? And he's going to be like, he's going to grab it and then.
もう何年も経ったのにまだ。ここ数年で災いの影響も薄れてきた。あなたは静かな晩年を過ごせたはずなのに。シムランカの世界。
Wait, what? Oh, wait. What terrible calamity, though? Because obviously all of that shit had to have been done after Durin, the original Durin was dying. So the calamity can't be Conria, because all of that shit they were doing and talking about should have been after Conria, after they beat Durin. But then he says once he leaves Simulanka, things will become more complicated. So this is presumably after we've saved him in Simulanka. So M was maybe alive during the events of Simulanka. So maybe M just recently died in the last year or two to coincide with when Simulanka. Actually, no, Simulanka was this year, wasn't it? Fuck. Actually, no. I guess it could still be Conria, right? The terrible calamity could be Conria, but now they're just saying, things are finally, like 500 years later, now things are finally settling down. But even so, that's so kind of weird, right? Because your old age and peace quiet, especially now that things died down, but things have, it's been hundreds of years since Conria, so are they really referencing the Conrian tragedy? Which would also kind of allude to the fact that she was also alive during that tragedy. I don't know, kind of weird. their lifespan is just really up in the air. I'm really curious how long these people live. If just being part of the Hexen Circle does grant an extended life. Like maybe just the magic that courses through them just gives them a longer lifespan, maybe.
どうしてあの子を物語の世界から外へ出してテイワットの運命物語の中に残しておいてもいいんじゃない？それなら私の魔法で
そうだね。確かに童話の中では童話ってそういうエンディングが多い。
それは
アリス、君はどう思う？
最後まで書ききれなかったもん。
それも説得力のある答えだ。私にとっての一番の心残りは私。
あ、いや。
I mean, this is a dumb sentiment, though. Oh, I regret that it has to come to an ending in the first place. I understand the basic. I understand what the basic sentiment is. It's like, yes, I want their lives to continue and have a nice. Like the fact that it's ended means like there's nothing, there's no more to their life. Like happily ever after, that's it. She wants to continue, but it's like, yes, all living things come to an end, right? So there is always an ending for every single person ever. So like, your sentiment of, oh man, I regret that because the story has come to an end, they can no longer, do anything else. Like, that's it, their story's over. There's nothing more to their life, and I want more to their life. But all you're doing is just saying, yes, I just want the story to be longer. The story will always have an end, right? Because you're basically saying, hey, yeah, this is a 100-page story, I wish it was 200 pages. Like, that's it. Because the story will always come to an end.
どれほど魅力的なキャラクターも物語は彼らにでももし私
それって
I mean, that's the dumb thing, right? I'll let them continue the story, yes, and then they'll expend their potential and die as well. Like, I understand the basic premise, right? Where it's just like, she could argue, well, yes, like, happily ever after, right? Pinocchio became a human and lived happily ever after. But yeah, but he just became a human, right? He's like 10, like he has a 10-year-old body. Even as a human boy, he's like, he has 10 years old. So clearly he's gonna do other shit. Even as a human. So he's probably gonna do shit even as a human for a little bit longer. But the story's over, so that potential of what he could do after that is lost. Yeah, sure, I get that. But like, and I guess the issue is mainly her own lifespan. She might not be too bad, because if she could just continue writing his story until he dies a natural death, she might be satisfied with that, because all potential would have been expended throughout his entire life. But with her with her current health, she knows she can't write the end of the story, and so she can either wrap it up with an ending prematurely, so he will not be able to, and he'll be locked into that fate, or let him, write his own. But even still, the story has an end.
私が残せる文字は限られてる。でも君の魔法を借りてインクはあの子が使える魔法の物語ってすごく不思議な存在だと思う。たとえ私が途中で書くのをやめ、そうすれば物語の中の本当の意味で私の筆からそれなら魔法のでもまず彼がテイワットに創作権限を徐々に移行する中ででも権限をこの方法はテイワットの秘密の彼らを導いてあげでも私たちには物語があるでしょ。けどもしかしたら手持ちのそれでもそうだとしてもあの子が抱くあいやこんなにロマンチックありがとう私の大事なドゥリンどうすればいいかはもうわかるね。
そうだ、僕はお母さん。
どうしてためらうの？
僕がこの筆を受け
権限の移行が完了したら私はいや君のお母さんは 本当はずっと前に亡くなって
And that's the thing, is like, it passed away long ago. But it's like, we did the Simulanka story like last year, or this year actually. Like within the year, I think we did. Within a year, I think we did Simulanka. So how? Like, I wouldn't say a year is a long ago. I would assume like many years at the very least. So I do find this kind of weird, the timeline for this ship. Although I guess maybe M was even dead when we went into Simulanka. And that was just a creation that she had, a static creation she had made.
わかってるよ。でも、早くにお母さんから離れた子供には悪い癖があるんだよ。
ドゥリン。
でも、この世界に来てふと気づいたんだ。もうこれが大人になるって感覚なのかな。お母さん。うん。
じゃあ、君はこの物語の誕生を見届け、未来今からは、では、この物語を新たなページをめくり、この物語に新章を足してくれる？突然、暗黒の力が襲ってきました。さあ、どうする？残念ながら、魔法使いの書いた物語は、ここでおしまい。
でも、ドゥリンが書く物語
Had now just begun, yeah.
まだ始まった。
Yeah, I was assuming it was gonna be something like that. I mean, I assume that was the whole thing, is that you're gonna do his all, you're gonna show all his history, and then it would be up to him to write his own fate. It's like, that's the I thought it was like leaving a story unfinished was her regret, and so I thought it was gonna be something like, because it's unfinished, because his life is unfinished, that he would like it would be all, here's all his history, and then he would write his future, right? I kind of thought that was going to be the entire that was going to be the main story. The forgetting thing was something I never even thought about. I see, so I guess I gotta fight. Is it just with Durin, or do I get another character? Oh, I see it. So oh wow, okay, that does take some. I was wondering how I was going to. I thought I was assuming doing damage to these guys would have done it. Shit, yeah, I should have done this guy first. Are you gonna see another pen? There we go. There we go. Go pen! Oh, so it was the two. It didn't seem like that was half his health. And then, oh look! Oh, actually, look! You can see the gem on his chest is glowing. It doesn't have the thing in front of it. I thought it was going to be at the end of the story. I thought beating him, they would like do a close up of his chest and like it would shatter off the little the things. But no, it seems like he had that power because he already shattered off the things. Or maybe it only did appear the second we beat Durin. I wasn't actually paying attention during the fight, obviously, so it could be that, the second we beat him, that's when the gems swapped.
Minna, 大丈夫？
大丈夫だ。戦い、みんなで見守ってたぞ。本当にかっこよかった。
Is that a new outfit? Like, the only thing I noticed differently is just the chest thing. The chest gem. I thought I saw swapping back and forth before I had unlocked it. You could still see it within the dressing room even before doing this quest. I mean, to be fair, he actually did try to do that. Doctori turning him into a god, that was him trying to strike out his own fate. Although, to be fair, he doesn't really have a fate. Like, he was created as a puppet. The fact that he's no longer just like subservient to Raiden alone means that he's already he's no longer a slave to his fate.
体内にあるアビスの力が安定。やったぜ。ただ、この最後のステップは何を意味していたんだろうね。錬金術。
終わりよければ全てよしじゃないのかい。無事に解決したことだし。
もう行くの？人間の習わしではこれ。
お祝い？そんな場面に僕は不釣り合いだ。困ったことがあったら僕のところに来ればいい。友達だと思うんなら。
確かに今はドゥリンをお祝いするべきだね。学術的な議論はふさわしくない。
気にしないで。
大丈夫。また機会。それじゃあ旅人パイモン、またね。
またな。いよいよお祝いだな。あれ？
無事任務をクリアできたみたいね。おめでとう。
クリアした瞬間に出てくるなんて。
身だしなみを整えるのも人付き合いには欠かせない。
Or maybe this changes his appearance. Maybe that's it. Like, well, no, I mean, obviously it changes his appearance. I mean, maybe it changes the appearance of his actions. So I'm curious if the animations for his attacks are different now. Oh, and his horns are slightly... Oh, actually, yes. So his horns are slightly different, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I guess the gem... All the gems on him are glowing now. And his horns have a little purplish color near the tips of them. And the gem in front... Oh, I see. And he has a little crown. His head, right near his head, there's a little image between his eyes. But here now it becomes an actual thorn thing. Otherwise, yeah, there really isn't much of a difference. But yeah, it just seems like all the gems are glowing. Oh, and actually, yeah, the wing aspects glow too. That's fine, whatever. It looks better anyway.
執筆者さんに物語を見届けた旅人さん、久しぶりね。
今そうやって聞くと旅人に対して最初から
もちろんよ。物語を続けるには物語を旅人は身分が特殊だからこんな人ってそうそういないわ。私が自分で登場しちゃおうかなとまで考え。
まあ面白い物語を。なんで
銀融野郎もここにいるんだ？
魔女界がモンドでこんなに波乱に満ちた実験をしてるとなると、風神の僕も
迷惑をかけて
気にしなくていいのよ。風神様も楽しそうだし。
あ、どうぞ。
Yeah, you can see like the gems on his chest is obviously glowing, but even the ones on his like mantle, the tips of them are glowing. He has the forehead piece. Maybe even his eyes glow. So it just makes it a little more vibrant. So that's cool. It's not a huge difference. I'm curious if it does change the animation, what the animations look like too. But determining that would be kind of a pain in the ass because he has like 2 animations for his skills, which might affect his burst. I'm not sure.
その子みんながここにいたらいろいろ。
わしならいるけどね。
バービー、ずいぶん前に。
ほら、もう少しこっちに来て顔。
おばさん。
やはりこの子の運命は星々の中に映し出されていない。
それってどういう意味？
お前はとても幸運だということさ。
それって。
物語の中でもこういうくだりがあったよな。
ドゥリンちゃん、この後何か計画はあるのかしら？この物語の続きが楽しみよ。
たくさんあって。
それなら最近のあの心残りから解決するのはどうかな。
銀融野郎、デュリンに何を。
ずっと前に叶えるべきだった願いを実現してもらいに行っただけだよ。
What else did you wish? I mean, presumably it's his mother, right? No, but like I guess, yeah, it's hard to say. Like, what is the long wish? Is he gonna go back to Dragonspine and like go where the heart was, where we got the festering desire sword?
これが最後の時間だと思う。
自分の友達ともう一度永遠の別れを告げるみたい。
どう返したらいいかわからない。私が残した文字の中では、君はいつも楽しそうな。
そんなこと言われても、あなたの物語が私をこんなに悲しくさせた。私に別れを言う以外に、あの子に何かメッセージを。この本は最終的にあの子に渡して続きを書かせるんでしょ。それな。
私がわざわざ筆を取る代わりに。ドゥリン、これは私からの最後の言葉。物語のキャラクターはみんな私の子供のようなものだった。だからその子たち全員に母の愛を与えようとしたの。君はその中で最も特別な存在。この世界の運命に挑み、私の物語に最も完璧な脚注を残してくれるのは君だけだから。私の筆から離れ、私がたどり着けない未来に迎えるのも君だけ。それでも飛んでいきなさい、我が子よ。
Maybe they just don't age, because obviously she looks super young still. Doesn't look like gray or anything like that. Maybe they have a longer lifespan, but also that they just don't age. Once they become one of those witches, they no longer age. and but they still have a lifespan, right? They still might appear young for their entire life, but after when their lifespan is over, they just expire.
君の誕生はこの世界に認められたんだから。
I also am curious too. It's like, so he replaced Durin's fate, which is like, okay, that's all well and good, but like, do people? So if his fate now replaced Durin, oh, I see. She's made books herself. Well, I guess that's maybe the representation within the book. But if he has replaced Durin's fate, do people no longer remember Durin anymore? Or is his replacing of the fate just the continuation of the story? So they still remember the evil Durin, but also the current one. That was really good. I really liked it. The only criticism I have is just the fact that the fact that you have to... Oh, wait, what? What is that quest? Is that part of the... Wait, what? Soul Blazer. No, okay, that's not that. Oh, is that what they... Wait, what was the new quest? Oh, okay, yeah. So this is the one where we actually unlock the Hex and Circle buffs. Oh wait, shit, almost left. There's a Venti. Let's see what Venti has to say. Oh, was the Wish flying with Dvalin, maybe? Guess it could have been. But yeah, anyway, so, yeah, I mean, literally the only thing I have to criticize it is the fact that it was a forced 5-day thing, right? I think one reason why they probably did that is because they knew that this quest was longer than any other character quest they've ever done before. So they were like, well, we don't want to like just dump a 4-hour character quest and all others are done in like 2 hours on someone. So let's break it up by day so that you don't get like burnt out on it. I can kind of understand that to a degree. Still, I think it's one of those things where you should always just have an option, right? You know? Rather than force people to do it one day at a time, it should still always be an option to just blast through it all at once. To be like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it. But anyway, oh no, geez, an hour and a half, fuck. Yeah, so just this last chapter is an hour and a half, although I did rant for like half an hour about AI and shit, so... Yeah, with each day taking between like 30 minutes and an hour to do, like, with 5 days worth of shit, like, obviously that's one of the longer character quests they've ever had. But I really did like it. It was, the forgetting thing was definitely a twist I didn't expect. I always kind of thought the whole thing would be like, yes, here's your past, and now you decide your future type thing, that was going to be the general flow of it. Which, I mean, was obviously very predictable. But still, I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was really interesting. And now we have... Nice. So it's skill does the jump down, and skill X is the attack. Or circle. Oh wow, that's kind of cool. That's the evil mode. That's pretty cool. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and as I said, like it just the time, like if you want to like break it apart, I mean, it's fine to break it apart like that, but again, just like because it's already kind of broken apart, like it's not like one huge cutscene like the rarer flashback one in Conria, and then Nefer's one that immediately followed. Like those was super long, with no obvious break. So this is like no, each one had its own break. It was like yeah, each one had its own chapter. So like, I think they should have just made it so that it was like yeah, just spend just like skip time in game. Oh yeah, just skip ahead one in game day to have the next quest trigger. I think they should have just done that It's silly that they didn't, but you know, and that's kind of why I was forcing myself to do that first before anything else. Because I mean, I have 20 days, so like you had the entire 6 weeks to do it. So it's like, is it really a huge issue that it takes 5 days to do, 5 actual days when you have 60? No, not crazy. Like if you do, hell, even if you do one quest a week, you could still do it within the 6 week period. Now the problem, of course, comes from people who don't read it and don't see that it tells you, oh, it needs 5 real days, and if they wait too long, then you basically fucked yourself. And that's generally why I'm just like, I don't think you should have those restrictions. I think it should just be a player choice thing where it's like, hey, if a player has additional time, they should be able to do the next few quests, or like, do everything all at once. There's no real reason to restrict it like that. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.